bigger innovation in 2011? Somebody's not on the 340 Bay Street.
I know.
340 Bay Street. Press mute.
Great.
I force muted them.
Okay, so if I don't behave, you're going to force me. I can't think of a better forum to launch our video conferencing system, albeit an imperfect one so far. And representatives right now, so everybody knows, from 11 locations around the city are watching us today. Go ahead and wave at each other. We already sort of tried that, but let's just make sure everybody can hear. Raven, yeah, look at that. That's great. It's really cool. And you all have it on mute right now, which is important because if you don't, it gets to be a cacophony in this room. When we do questions and answers, remember later on, do your question and hit the mute button again. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to go around and ask people questions from as many groups as I can get to. So try to figure out while you're listening who's going to ask the question from your site, because you probably only get to ask one. And I know you guys were told we'd go in a certain order. We're going to go in a slightly different order. So just try and play ball with us. I don't know if it's all going to work, but we're certainly going to give it a jolly old try. All right, so one thing I do know that this video conferencing is never going to replace face-to-face meetings. I still intend to spend the whole day at every site, every time we do a STARS meeting. I'll meet with your judges, I'll meet with your district attorneys, but I'll also hang out with you guys, sit on your desks, drink your coffee, eat your food, all that stuff like I did last time. Last time I actually got a Christmas tree from somebody in the Bronx. So you guys are going to have to work to top that when I come in March with somebody else's. So I first met many of you at the listening tour last year. Those meetings played a huge role in the development of our strategic plan. Hopefully you've already heard a lot about our plan. Hopefully you've already read it. But I'd like to take this opportunity to go over a few key points. First, of course, is the mission statement. The New York City Department of Probation builds stronger and safer communities by supervising people on probation and fostering opportunities for them to move out of the criminal justice system through meaningful education, employment, health services, family engagement, and community participation. It's a mouthful. It's a lot of work to do, and I think we're all up to doing it. It highlights our belief that fostering a wealth of opportunities for clients to move out of the criminal justice system is the best way for probation to contribute to community safety. Next, we're also committed to focusing on high-risk clients, matching clients to services tailored to their unique needs and interests, expanding services for clients in the communities where they live, and empowering you to have more of a role in making decisions about what to do about those clients. Our new vision talks about us having a citywide network of quality opportunities, resources, and services. And we differentiate between opportunities, resources, and services. It's not like people only need services. They don't only need drug treatment. They also need to feel like they're part of their community. They need the kind of opportunities that in some respects many of us have taken for a birthright during our lives. And if we believe if they have some of those opportunities, they will avail themselves of those opportunities, and the more time they spend doing good, the less time they'll spend doing bad. Match individuals to appropriate supervision and support, incentives and sanctions. So we want to provide people with more and more incentives. The research is showing that you should be giving 4 incentives for every sanction. And we definitely need work to get there, but we are going to get there, and that's going to be a big push this year. Expanded local services, it should really say expanded local services, supports, and opportunities, and empowering you to be able to take these new tools and use them as you see best. That strategic plan is our roadmap. We're going to follow this year and in the years to come. Obviously, we'll adjust it as time goes on, but it's our roadmap. It's an ambitious agenda. I know we can do it. And why is that? Because I think we've already done a lot. You're going to hear right now, and this is a sort of conglomeration of all the STARS meetings, but you're going to hear right now from different members of the staff about the things we've done already in the last year. And by the way, this is 3 days after my first anniversary. It was February 1st I started, so it's really been a good, really rock and roll year. So first I'm going to invite up David Mohammed, our outgoing Deputy Commissioner for Adult Operations. I want to just say a word about David. He's done a terrific job here during the time he's been here, and we're going to miss him sorely, although Clinton Lacey is a terrific deputy commissioner coming in from the batting cage to pitch hit. And I think that David's really given it his all during a short period of time. He's been with us. In fact, he and I were emailing a fundraising letter back and forth at 10 o'clock last night, so he's not going out sleepy, albeit he does still arrive to meetings late. But yeah, he knew I was going to say that. I just didn't want to disappoint him. But really, he's done a tremendous job here, and I want to thank him for that. And he's going to talk a little about some of the things that have happened last year, and then we're going to rotate through so you guys can hear from more people than just me. Thanks a lot.
Good morning, everybody here at Beaver and all throughout the city. This takes a little bit of getting used to, but we'll work it. Let me thank the commissioner, thank Vinny for not only his words, but certainly his confidence in bringing me up here. I think that Michael, our chief of staff, had kind of the funniest one-liner. He said the commissioner asked me for a 100-day plan. He didn't know it was going to be just a 100-day plan instead of the first 100-day plan. And so it's been a little longer than 100 days, but I do want to just say before I start that the last, which will be about 6 months that I've been here, I never thought it would just be 6 months. It was certainly too short, but it really has been wonderful. And I've said this time and time again in all the 8 trainings that I did the last 2 weeks across the boroughs, that I never actually imagined it would be this good. The commissioner and I had a slightly different experience in Washington, D.C. our first year or so, and this has just really been great. We've got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work done, but what made the decision to go to California even much more difficult was just how great the people have been here in New York and how much you already have accepted some of the changes that we have introduced. So again, thank you. I certainly will miss this place, and I also want to say I've known Clinton for many, many years, and you all will have another great deputy commissioner, if I could say so myself, in Clinton Lacey. And so to talk about some of the things that we've done, and in fact, Clinton Lacey will talk about where we're going toward the end of this presentation. But just a few highlights in adult operations. One, we looked at some of the things that we wanted to do. We had a tall order of priorities, and we had all of the boroughs submit a borough plan on how they would handle some of these priorities, and then we put them all together into these borough plans, which included focusing our resources on the highest risk individuals, which included reducing our violations, increasing our early discharges, and improving our case transferring process. And as we'll see in a couple of other slides, we really have made significant progress already, and we're really in line to make even further progress down the line. The PSI on time delivery at 100%, you can't get better than that, and our supervision compliance rate at 100%. So again, congratulations to all those who worked very hard to make this happen. Now looking at some of the data that shows just, even before we started putting more emphasis on some of these things, you all have been doing a great job. Our failure to report rate dropped 26% between 2009 and 2010. That represents 3,500 fewer failure to reports. Our violations filed have dropped 17%, and they continue to decline further. Those who go to jail as a result of violations has dropped 10%, and then those who go to state prison as a result of violations is down 18%, and we have 27,000 people on active supervision in adult services, and only 313 went to state prison. That's really exceptional and extraordinary, and so again, and that goes to the great work that our staff has been doing. To go further, if you go look at our early discharges, in just about a 10 or 11 month time, we went from 59 early discharges that we submitted in January of 2010, and in November of 2010 we submitted 306, and a 280% increase. Now we're still up at 224 for December, but we've got to get that back up. We can't. We've got to continue to go higher, not dip down. But the full number of early discharges that we've submitted has really been incredible. There's some explanation there as we go to the boroughs. I know in Brooklyn they said, you submitted so many, please hold up, because we can't even calendar them so fast, and so that was why there was a little bit of a dip. And our acceptance rate is extraordinary, both in the Bronx, where they went from submitting 15 a month to 100 in a month, and in Brooklyn and Manhattan. The numbers that get accepted by the judges are above 70 and 80%. And so it shows we're actually making really good decisions on those that we're submitting early discharges for as well. All right, on the Employment Works program, and this is one of our largest employment programs, our only employment program, and they serve more than 1,000 people on adult probation throughout the city. But those that they have placed in jobs went from 666 in 2009 and an increase of 12% to 747 in 2010. And we continue to tweak and improve this program as well as utilize other employment programs to provide jobs to people who are on probation. And as we talk about focusing our resources on the highest risk people on probation and beginning to really make smart decisions with the realistically dwindling resources that we have, we want to also make sure that we're improving public safety. And as we've shown over the course of the past 6 years, we've been able to significantly decrease the number of people who are arrested for homicide and attempted homicide by 35%. And we're continuing to reduce that number, which is, when you compare that to, again, the 27,000 people on probation on the adult side, that only in last year 15 were arrested for homicide. That's really a small portion. One is too many, but to have that small of a portion is really significant. And to that end, our last number, and there was many, the good problem we had about this presentation was really selecting which numbers we would use. We had a bunch of really great statistics and data that showed how good of a job you all are doing around the city. And so one of the last data that I'll talk about is the number of guns confiscated by our intelligence unit. As you all know, Mayor Bloomberg has really had a focus on gun control and focusing on gun offenders. He had a big press conference with Martin Luther King III and many victims of gun violence a week or so ago. And we really applaud our intelligence unit, who had a 107% increase in the number of guns that they confiscated in their work. And so, like I said, we could have focused on, there's just much more that we could have used, but we just gave you a little bit of the great work that you've been doing and can continue this conversation on our juvenile services and juvenile operations side. I want to introduce the Deputy Commissioner of Juvenile Operations, Ana Bermudez.
Thank you, David. So in juvenile operations, we have an advantage, if you will, that we